Hey Auto Worlders, and welcome to the Auto World Workshop. And today, as you can see, we're not in my room, we're in the shop. Why? Because I'm going to start building a project that I've wanted to build for a long time. And I posted some pictures of this trip that I made last week. And everybody just wants to see how they can make one of these. And these are the stools that are in Galaxy's Edge docking bay. And also, I saw them in the Wish Disney Cruise Line in their cargo bay. It's a section for children only. I don't know why. You could just see it the first day, and I just loved it. I would have stayed there the whole trip, but I couldn't. So let's see how we make these stools that look like this here today in the Outdoor Workshop. So maybe as you can see here, these are the stools. So when I went to Galaxy's Edge, I had my wife take some pictures. I didn't have anything to measure with. So I just stood next to it, so it's right under my knee. And I use my hand to kind of get the size of the top portion. First, let's see what materials I have on hand, and we start from there. So right now, here are some scraps that I have, and let's see if we can get something from here that might work. I know I have some flexible wood somewhere, and maybe that'll help us out. I don't know if I have enough though. Some PVC, some acrylic. So yeah, I do have this. It's flexible wood, but I don't know. Hey, we might be able to make one, yeah. So this might be enough to make one of them. So this will be good, like to sheet it. And I need more material, like for the top. So I have some 1/4" panels that we can cut the circles off. But also I need like a big, not big, like a thick piece of wood, maybe 3/4 inch. So I can put the casters on the bottom, because the ones in Galaxy's Edge, they have casters and they move around. The ones that they had on the Disney Wish did not have casters because they were for kids and didn't want them to get hurt. So I want mine with casters. If the casters don't work, I'll put some slippery fabric or something underneath, or just a rubber mat. It doesn't have to be slippery. And we work from there. So as you can see, I'm just making it up as I go and see what I have to work with. So if you see here, I use my hand. This picture is a bit dark. I don't know why I printed that way. It doesn't look that way on my phone. But I use my hand to kind of get the size of the top portion. So let's see how big it will be. So I got this Lazy Susan. Kind of looks the size, maybe a little bigger, but if I put it here, you see, if I can turn this around somehow. Like my sandbags? Co-worker makes them. If you're interested, comment down below and I'll let her know. So yeah, I kind of did this. And I think, yeah, it's a little bigger than the interior. So it'll be like the exterior, plus it has like an inch over that. It'll be almost the thickness of my finger or my thumb. So we can mark this and maybe add an inch around it. So we kind of have this here. And now we kind of have to add an inch or so. Oh, it's marked without measuring. Oh, an inch. Yeah, not bad. So add an inch all the way around. I think this kind of works. So yeah, let's see how big it is. It's around 14 inches and a half. Yeah, about 14 inches and a half. So I'm cutting this one out because this will be like the base and the top, so we can sheet it afterwards all the way around. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut 2 different discs the same size, and I measure the height from the floor to my knee, and it's 18 inches approximately. And I'm gonna do like an X pattern, like one piece of wood and maybe another piece of wood here, another one here, and that'll be the support in the inside to support the weight of the person sitting there. I don't know if you understand my drawing, but this will be the interior structure, and I'll have a piece on the top and a piece on the bottom. And there we have two not so perfect circles, but they are gonna work. So I have this bin here, it says ruedas, that's wheels in Spanish. So you learn Spanish here too. So I have these, I think these are pretty good. See if I have 4 of these. Do not have 4 of these. So that means I'm gonna have to go get casters. So I'm gonna use this measurement just to figure out how tall my center pieces are gonna be, and then I'll go buy the casters. The height of the 2 pieces, the top and the bottom piece, plus the casters, that is 3.5 inches. So from 18 inches minus 3.5 inches, that is, I can't think right now, 4.5, 14 and a half. Am I correct? So these boards need to be cut at 14.5. I want to put the panels on here, but I need a surface to support both sides. So I'm gonna put this one next to this. Some glue on this side and a little bit on the sides. So let's start gluing. Let's put some glue down here. Put a strap on it, and now I'm just putting in some extra screws to make it put together. One thing that did happen, I did have enough to make it a bit wider. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another piece of wood here to just support this, make it stronger, and another support in here. And it's going to be 12 inches plus. And I think the wider, the sturdier. So that's why I'm doing it this way. I kind of screwed up, but I don't want to start over again. So I just got to fix it. Kinda. So here we go. On. Yep. Yeah, force it a little bit in there, but I'm sure it's going to be great. Sloppy, sloppy, sloppy. I know. This is not a how-to channel. This is how I did stuff. And most of it is not the correct way. But it's just fun. So. At least I know my measurements are not that bad. So let's see how we can put this here. We don't want like the wheels to get caught, so we can move around. So see, kind of looking for a place to put them that they do not hit and they could spin around completely. About, yeah, 1/2 inch from the edge, and the wheel completely spins there. So I'm gonna put these wheels in like across from each other and see how stable it is. Okay, so let's see how stable this thing is. We do it here because it's smoother. It's not completely smooth, but it's smoother. It rolls. It's a little top heavy, but I think it's the extra 1/2 inch that I added to it on the bottom. Well, let's just sit on it, see? Holds my weight. It is a little wobbly though. Does it move? It moves. It's not the sturdiest thing. Maybe inside it won't be that bad, but it still seems a bit dangerous. So maybe all I do is I'll take the wheels off and just have it like a regular stool. But what I think is it's not wide enough, and maybe that's causing it to tip over. So let's just make it a drum, make it look like the chairs in Galaxy's Edge. Now looking at it from this angle, you can see the wheels are more towards the center, except when they tip over. So I guess when I push, this is what they do. They should be close to the edge. Like I said, they swivel. Maybe the ones that are like ball joints, it's just a ball on a base. It could be closer to the edge and that might work. So I marked where the details go. Excuse the tank top. It was a very hot day. Okay, I'm gonna use backer board, cut it in half so I can do the little details. So all I gotta do is just slice it with a blade, very carefully. Just use this as the detail. I use contact cement to glue all the details. Oh yeah, I guess I'll cut more pieces and put them there. Put some glue on these also. I thought I had enough, but I guess I don't. So. Now something that I want to do is I want to wrap this around here. So see, that gives it that form of the ridges on the barrel. I'm gonna use this 1mm EVA foam. I'm gonna put contact cement all over the base and all over the foam. Just wrap it around. And I hope I have enough. Let me see. Let me just check first if I have enough. Because I might not have enough. And of course, I do not have enough. Why does this keep happening? Why does this keep happening? How about this little piece? Yeah. Well, I am gonna cut this here, so I will have a piece for here. I just wanted to put a whole piece. But I'm using what I have, so let's just glue this on there. Put some quick seal here on this edge here. A little bit on this one also, but this one's pretty good. You blend it in. Quick seal is flexible, and we can use some water to smooth it out. So now for the piece that goes here, you can either buy like square pieces that are already pre-cut, put them in there, use half dowels, but I find them too small. I want it to be more bulky. I'm gonna use the puzzle pieces at the end. I'm just gonna cut a strip off, sand these down because this is like heat treated and then it doesn't really stick that well. So just sand these down a little bit so it's a little bit more porous. And then this is what I'm gonna use to stick on here. So I'm gonna measure out what I want and then I'll stick it onto here. There we have it. This end is not perfect, but it's okay. We'll fix it. So after I sand this down to glue it here, this is kind of what it's gonna look like. Now here, when I stick these down, I'm also gonna stagger the seam. See, there's one seam here. There's one seam here. So I'm gonna put another seam about. I'm trying to have them close by because this could be the back part. But just stagger them so it also supports these other seams better. And I didn't put any glue here because I knew it was going to cut. So let's kind of measure this portion here. Put some glue on it. Let it dry a little bit so it can get tacky and then we stick it together. For some reason my microphone wasn't working. Don't know why, but let's go to voiceover. So I use What the Foam from Cosplay Apprentice. This is an EVA foam with plastic to make it sturdier and stronger. And I use this for some of the details. I marked where all the pieces go and then glued them with contact cement. For the top, I'm using this piece of soft EVA foam that was given to me from a film that I worked on. It's called Playing with Gerard Butler. This was used on a desk by stunt people because the actors and the stuntmen had a fight on top of this desk and they didn't want them to get hurt. Now that's why this is painted this green color. Since this piece is not wide enough to cover the top, I will cut two pieces and glue them together, sanding the edges so it glues together much better. I mark the top and then cut it out with a sharp blade. I glue it down using paper to help avoid it to stick where I don't want it to stick. To try and cover the center seam, I used a 1mm EVA foam. I sand down the edges to blend it all together. Now I mark the top details. I heat treated with the heat gun so it could seal the foam. And I use Alex flexible spackling and try and smooth it out even more. I continue to mark and measure for the top details, which I cut out from 10mm floor mats. Sanding down the texture again so it could glue much better. So this is how it's looking so far. I managed to make it smoother, just putting more quick seal on it and then sanding it down a bit, and I think this is as good as it's gonna get. So yeah, let's just finish sanding some of these parts. So I wiped it off with some alcohol and a rag. I'm gonna let it dry for a little bit and just put some plastic dip on it. Already started here on this side. So yeah, it'll be the underlayment because I'm gonna paint it then with other paints. Let's paint.
Yeah, I hope you can hear me, but I use that as a base because this is the color I wanted, a dark blue. If it's not perfect, doesn't matter. I'm gonna age it anyway. It's a banged up drum. So yeah, let's wait until this dries. Put on the original color.
Okay, I have it back there drying. I gave it the base blue color. That's the color it's gonna be. And the top, like I said, I'm gonna paint it with a different kind of paint, and I'm gonna use cosplay paint. And these are FX cosplay paint. They're flexible paints. They're durable, and I've used them a lot for armor and other props you see me using around in the channel. I have this metallic and this gray, and I'm gonna see which one looks better. But I think I'm gonna go with the gray, and maybe just do like a dry brush of the metallic on top. And I'm also gonna use this metallic to give it the weathering and the chips on the bottom blue portion. I'm going to use the roller so I can just eliminate some of the brush marks. No paint, just, well, it has paint on it now, but I didn't put any paint on it. I just wet it down a little bit, and this way I can just go over it and eliminate most of those brush marks. So these came in. These are like metal balls on ball bearings, and that way, as when I use them as wheels, they don't swivel like the other ones and hit here. So it's going to be closest to the edge. Okay, so let's try this. It is pretty rough here, but it's running. Not tipping over. I think I need to try them inside. Let's go inside. Okay, let's see how this goes. Oh. Here we go. So there it is. My Galaxy's Edge inspired docking bay 7 stool. That's a lot, but that's what it is. It's the stool from docking bay 7. So this is something I always wanted to build for a long time. And I thought I can get a keg, maybe cut the top off, put a piece of wood, upholster it. I don't know, work it out somehow. But it seemed to be a bit difficult here to find a keg that was similar to what I wanted. So I had this plan for a long time, and I've seen a lot of people posting it in the builders group that is somebody has tackled this little stool. And I decided, yeah, it's time I try it with what I have and with what I know. And I did have some bumps during the journey, but it was okay. That's the way we learn, making mistakes. We fixed it. And like I said in the video, I think it should be a bit wider. It turned out to be 14 inches wide, but I think the base should be maybe 14 inches. Maybe next time I go to Galaxy's Edge, or if one of you goes to Galaxy's Edge, it would be good to take a small tape measure, maybe measure it. The way I measured it with my hand, it kind of worked. It gave me kind of a scale of what it's supposed to be. But in the end, I think it worked out pretty good. The EVA foam wasn't perfect. It was old EVA foam, hard to work with. So maybe I can do something next time. But I did do this. Yeah, I 3D printed one of the stools. With my little knowledge of what I have on Fusion 360, because I'm still learning, I managed to do this little cup with the lid. But this was scaled down from what I think are closer to the actual size. So we're still working on the file. I will be putting it up maybe later on my Etsy. So I don't know if I'm going to print it out first, because it's like 12 or 16 pieces to make it the size it is. And it should be printed, maybe not in PLA, maybe PETG or ABS. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to print it out, but if I do, you guys will see it. But for now, I have these. If you want to maybe print out different size ones, like to store stuff, it would be good. So yeah, that's something that will be coming up pretty soon. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun just trying to figure out how to make it work and just fixing my mistakes and learning from that I hope you guys learned something too. So I just want to thank you guys for being here in the Auto Workshop once again. And I've reached 1,000 subscribers. Thank you all for that. Again, I'm planning on maybe doing a live soon, and I'll be posting in my social media, Instagram, maybe Facebook, and I might make a small video here if you guys have any questions you want to ask me, and just let's chat for a while. I still got to set it up, so that'll be a little bit before I do that live, but it'll be cool if you guys join me to celebrate these 1,000 subscribers. It's just a step forward and just part of the fun of being inside of a community that loves Star Wars and loves building, and just makers in general, just making stuff with your hands and enjoying the final product. So thank you once again, and I hope to see you next time when we make something out of this world.